Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series here on iRacing from beautiful Pensacola, Florida at Flags Speedway. Getting ready to the second to last race of the season. Got about 5.5 minutes left here in practice. No surprise, Jonathan Jennings at the top of the leaderboard, officially crowned this season's champion. So congratulations to Mr. Jennings on that. Now the battle is for second place, and we know that's going to be between the 24 of Justin McMahon as well as Adam Gardner, as well as a couple other people up in the mix. We'll take a look at the points in just a moment, but let's talk about this Flags Speedway, half-mile short oval located in Pensacola. Home to the Snowball Derby, home to a lot of up-and-coming stars who have made their mark here. Ty Majeski being one of those. We know Chase Elliott's won here before. Trying to think of some other famous Snowball Derby winners. Chandler Smith, Noah Gregson, Kyle Busch, Christian Ekins, John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, two-time winner. So Chase Elliott in 2011 was the youngest winner of the Snowball Derby history. So a lot of history at this racetrack. We should see some great racing here tonight from this short little half-mile speedway. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight. As I mentioned, Jonathan Jennings has officially clinched the championship. Now the battle is for second place. Justin McMahon sits back in second. Adam Gardner only about 50 points behind. Kevin O'Powell back in fourth. Steve Gerber, your top five. Then you see Ricky Williams, Christopher Simon, Daniel Wilkerson, Donald Leftwich, Christopher Leftwich, your top 10. That's Mike Leftwich in ninth there. So here's your top 20 on the board coming into tonight. We're just here at Five Flags, and we'll go down the street in 2 weeks and wrap the season up at Daytona. Before we get ourselves set for next season, which will be starting up, I believe, August 9th. I'm trying to look at my calendar real quick. But I believe that is the date that's going to be starting back up. So only 18 trucks in the field here, which, being a short track, not really surprising. It's a very, very small short track. So who else is out on track? We see the 45 of Eric Anderson. Making his way around the racetrack. We don't see last week's winner, Frank Hughes, on the speedway just yet, but plenty of time for more drivers to show up. We've got about 2 minutes, 20 seconds left here in practice, plus 5 minutes of qualifying. See the three of Michael Samia battling underneath. That is the 93 of Kevin Powell. And both the 91 and the 93 look so similar. Running the exact same paint job here tonight. Both got the Tractor Supply colors on. So don't mind me if I mix up those two drivers here a little bit tonight, which is very, very possible. We see Mike Leftwich in that Shoney's machine up into the 5th position. Steve Gerber on track. Currently runs back in 7th. So again, we take next week off. I see the Engel fan club is here tonight. Jeffrey Engel out on the track as well, getting his laps in here before qualifying commences. So again, just 2 races left here in the season. Tonight at Five Flags Speedway. Then we'll take the week off for the 4th of July. Obviously, the 4th of July falls on a Tuesday next week. And we'll be right back here for the season finale at Daytona. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or over on Kick. Do appreciate you joining us here tonight. We saw the chat is already fired up with the Engel fan club tuning in. Good luck tonight, boys. Congratulations, Jonathan. That's from Bobby Goodwin. So we want to celebrate the 4th of July next week, and then we'll be right back here with the season finale at Daytona. And I'm personally a big fan of the season finale at Daytona because Daytona is such an unpredictable racetrack. So anything can really happen there next week. We'll be looking forward to seeing what transpires and who's going to get that runner-up position here in the Doghouse Racing League. About 8 seconds left before we transfer over to qualifying. First, I want to thank everybody again for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we're live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out our great partners listed down below, including Race API for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. You can check out raceapi.com. You can check out the Doghouse Racing League's website. There is a link down below where you can find all news, stats, and standings, as well as anything going on with the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, you can check that out right down below in the description. You can support our channel by checking out intensityracing.com for all hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, novelty t-shirts. We've got league merchandise as well. We don't have any Doghouse stuff yet, but Doghouse does have their merchandise over on their website at doghouseracing.com. And of course, we also want to thank our great partner over at Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and well-known leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Their patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you. Visit thebuttkicker.com. And as we join, we see Jonathan Jennings come spinning down across the line. Currently is the fastest truck on the track, though. Steve Gerber in the 8 making his way off turn number 4. And there you have it. He's going to lock himself into the 6th position. Daniel Wilkerson on his second lap. As Eric Anderson goes to the top of the board, and Daniel Wilkerson is going to currently be P5. Gary Clune making his way down the backstretch and into turn number 3 on his final lap. And down across the stripe, and Gary Clune's going to stay there in that 10th position. Here's Nate Orlowski off of turn number 4 and across the line. Orlowski is going to stay there in the 12th position. See the 14 of Jeffrey Engel just making his way out onto the racetrack. Of course, as I mentioned, a very short racetrack, so apologize for missing a little bit of that qualifying there. I was expecting the pace to be as high as it was as Jeffrey Engel catches the green flag for his first of 2 laps. Down into turns 3 and 4. Coming down to the stripe, and Engel's first lap is going to put him up into the 13th position. We'll see what he's able to do here on his second lap. Down into turns 3 and 4. And down to the stripe, and Engel going to move up into the 9th position, so a top 10 starting spot for Jeffrey Engel as of right now, but we still have a couple drivers left to qualify, including Mike Leftwich, Adam Gardner, and Kevin Brown. Michael Samia did go out there and run a couple laps. Unfortunately, was not able to set a time. May have caught the wall on his lap, and that would disqualify his starting position. We see Let's Go Jeff there in the chat. And we got about a minute and 15 seconds left here in qualifying. And right after this one's over, we'll be heading down the road to Miami, Florida, where the SCSRA is going to be taking on Homestead Miami for their race tonight. That one will go off at 9:30 Eastern. As we are just about the halfway point of the SCSRA season. So while this season is coming to a close here in the Doghouse Racing League, plenty of racing left here on the SCSRA starting at 9. Yes, Homestead tonight, then New Hampshire and Las Vegas. Then they move on to the playoffs, Bristol, Texas, Talladega, Auto Club, and Phoenix. So just a few more weeks left of the doubleheader. So stay tuned and hit that notification bell so you know anytime there's racing live here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, we do broadcasts on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and just started broadcasting over on Kick as well. So any place you find your live streaming videos, you can find us as well. Well, time on the clock has expired. So we're getting ready to look at our starting lineup here tonight. And on pole is the 45 of Eric Anderson, with Jonathan Jennings rolling off from the second position. Justin McMahon and Kevin Powell roll off in row number 2, with Daniel Wilkerson in the 5th position and Christopher Simon back in 6th. Steve Gerber rolls off from 7th in the 8 machine, and Bill Gentry in the 8th spot. Making up row number 5 will be the 14 of Jeffrey Engel and the 2 of Ricky Montgomery. Gary Clune will roll off from the 11th spot in the 11, with Gary Armio in the 20 machine rolling off 12th. 13th will be Nate Orlowski and Richard Leclerc in the 14th position in the 117. Adam Gardner did not put out a qualifying lap. He'll be back in the 15th spot along with Kevin Brown back in 16th. Michael Samia in 17th, and Mike Leftwich will round out the field here tonight at 5 Flags Speedway. As the pace car gets ready for the 2 laps of warm-up here before we cut these trucks loose here at 5 Flags Speedway. Great view here from the roof. The spotter stand at 5 Flags gives you a great view of the entire track. Watch those 2 tractor supply trucks up on the high side. See if they're able to get a good launch here and get around the 45 of Eric Anderson early enough, or if Anderson's going to have a good jump here and be able to pull the 24 of Justin McMahon right along as well. Pace car will be pulling in this time by. We'll be getting ready to go green flag racing, cutting them loose for 125 laps here at 5 Flags Speedway. Justin McMahon giving a quick little pull on that. He's ready to go as the field works their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car takes the hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at 5 Flags. And immediately we see Eric Anderson on that low side trying to get the advantage off of turn number 2. Jennings, though, fighting hard on the high side. A little wiggle out of the 45 of Erickson. As Justin McMahon's right there as well. Oh, we got a big pile up there in turn number 3. They're still piling. Adam Gardner getting a little piece of that as well. Looks like Samia might have caught a little piece as well. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night as we take a look and see what happened. Looks like it might start back here with Gary Clune in the 11. See him working that low side under Amio. Oh, the 14 of Engel got a little loose getting into the corner. Emilio made the evasive move, the move up to the high side, and see the 29 of Nate Orlowski involved. There's the 33 of Kevin Brown. See Mike Samia just sneaking through there on the bottom. Adam Gardner getting a little bit of damage in this one as well. Doesn't look like too much damage to any of these trucks. So all the drivers should be able to continue on. We see Jeffrey Engel coming down on the pit road, coming to get some of his damage fixed. Looking at that truck, though. Truck looks relatively clean. Don't see too much damage on that machine, so he should be able to continue on with no worries. There's the 33 of Kevin Brown. Also looks like just a little bit of cosmetic damage. Yep, he is down and away. And Gary Clune may have gotten the worst of that one. Now he's down and away, which tells me Jeffrey Engel is also down and away. So quick repairs for these boys here tonight. Of course, these drivers do not have quick repairs as we would call them. No fast repairs for these drivers. So any damage accrued on track would have to be fixed up before making their way back onto the racetrack. So no backup trucks for these drivers, which makes the racing a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. But here we go. Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing on lap number 5, and a great jump for Jonathan Jennings. Gets way out in front of Eric Anderson. Eric Anderson was caught sleeping there, as we see McMahon was able to sneak right on through as well as Kevin Powell, and Eric Anderson stuck up on that high side right now, falling back into the 4th position. So your pole sitter falls all the way back into the 4th spot. Meanwhile, right behind, we see a great battle shaping up here. See the 27 of Christopher Simon, Ricky Montgomery, Daniel Wilkerson. Here comes the 34 of Bill Gentry, and yellow flags back out on the racetrack, and it is for, looks like Ricky Montgomery. Oh no, the 45, our pole sitter, Eric Anderson, caught up in that one as well. That's going to bring up our 2nd wreckage rewind of the night. We try to see what happened here to the 45. Oh, same thing we saw with the 14. Just got a little loose. The truck snapped around on him, getting down into turns 3 and 4. We see Steve Gerber able just to sneak on through. Daniel Wilkerson goes up to the high side. Unfortunately, the 2 of Ricky Montgomery and Bill Gentry just nowheres to go. Both drivers make heavy contact, and then more contact behind, as we saw the 3 of Samia make some contact with the 29. That is, Nate Orlowski, and the 117 of Richard Leclerc up into the wall as well. So double drivers making some heavy contact with the outside wall. We see Adam Gardner back on pit road, getting a little bit more of that damage fixed up. Doesn't look like too much damage, though, to that 56 machine. Most of the damage to the rear end, so I don't think that's going to affect that truck too much. Actually, we see a little bit to the right side as well, but at least it's a short track where aerodynamics are not important. Yeah, you see that whole right side crinkled up pretty good on that 56 machine. He's going to come down pit road yet again, try to get a little bit more of that fixed up. So Jonathan Jennings continues to lead here after he's pretty much dominated this entire season here. As lights on the pace car are now off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them here at 5 Flags Speedway. Jonathan Jennings going to retake that inside lane, putting Justin Command up on the high side. And we saw the 45, Eric Anderson, get caught snoozing on the last restart. Let's see if Justin McMahon can stay close to Jonathan Jennings on this restart as pace car pulls down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Yeah, Justin McMahon stuck up on that high side. That high lane just is not getting going the way that we see that low side get firing off. As here comes the 93 of Kevin Powell down to the inside, try to take over that second position from Justin McMahon. Right behind, we see a battle between Daniel Wilkerson and Bill Gentry as well. Sorry, that's Daniel Wilkerson and Christopher Simon as well, as the battle for second place continues. And it looks like Kevin Powell is going to clear Justin McMahon, as we see Christopher Simon fighting on the high side and able to stay out in front of the 78 of Daniel Wilkerson. Orlowski up to the high side of Michael Samia. But Samia using that low lane to take the advantage. And here comes Richard Leclerc down to the bottom side as well, trying to take over that 10th position. Meanwhile, a little further back, we see Brown going backwards as Mike Leftwich was able to clear the 33 machine. Jeffrey Engel trying to run down the 2 of Ricky Montgomery. Back towards the front, we see Daniel Wilkerson has a mirror full of the 34 of Bill Gentry. As we ride along with Daniel Wilkerson, take a look off the back bumper. You see that 34 able to get into the corner a little bit better. Right now, Wilkerson able to get off the corner quite a bit better. Well, that's what the difference is between these two trucks right now. Back up front, Kevin Powell has Justin McMahon right there in the tire tracks, trying to run him back down. It's a battle for the second position. Great view off the back bumper of the 93 Kevin Powell as McMahon's trying to find a way to get around that 93 machine. While that's going on, our leader Jonathan Jennings continues just to pull away. He's now extended his lead to just over 1.2 seconds is the interval from first back to second. But Jonathan Jennings now starting to catch, excuse me, a little bit of lap traffic here. As right in front of them is the 11 of Gary Clune, who, as you can see, that look at that left front tire. Kept both those front tires. That truck is definitely not handling well. You can see the wheels actually pointed to the right as that truck makes its way through the corner, and just gonna let the leaders right on through as the caution comes out. It is for the 3 of Michael Samia around in turn number 1. That brings up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 3 machine. And turn number 1, we've seen most of the spins off of turn 3 today. Oh, heavy contact between Armio and the 3 as he comes right up the track, right in, catches a little bit of Orlowski there. Kevin Brown able to sneak through as well. Let's go back to the 20 machine here. Take a look to see what happened. Did he bounce off the wall? Yeah, looks like a little bit of contact with the outside wall sent the 20 back down the track and into the 3 of Michael Samia. So, bunch of drivers coming down pit road getting service done. See Christopher Simon on pit road, Mike Leftwich, Kevin Brown, Jeffrey Engel, Samia, Eric Anderson. Jonathan Jennings did come down pit road, took tires and fuel. Looks like Kevin Powell doing a little gamble here, taking right side tires only. Christopher Simon taking fuel only. And everybody else taking 4 tires and fuel except for Nate Orlowski and Richard Leclerc, both who have not pitted since the drop of the green flag. So what an ending to the season, going from one of the shortest tracks of the season here at Five Flags Speedway, a little half-mile track, to the high banks of Daytona, 2.5-mile super speedway next in 2 weeks to round out the season here, as Orlowski is going to take the low side, putting Richard Leclerc up on the high side. Then you'll have fresh tires of Kevin Powell, just right side fresh tires on that 93 machine. Jonathan Jennings back in the 4th position. Row 3 will find Jess McMahon and Steve Gerber. Daniel Wilkerson and Bill Gentry. And Adam Gardner and Mike Leftwich back in row number 5. As this time by, the lights on the pace car should be shutting off, giving us the 1 to go signal. We'll be going back green flag racing at the end of this lap. There we go, pace car taking that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Good jump for Leclerc up on the high lane, trying to work around Orlowski. Right behind though, you see Jonathan Jennings getting around his teammate Kevin Powell. Looks like caution is back out on the speedway for the 33 of Kevin Brown. Let's take a look to see what happened to the 33 to bring out this most recent caution. Oh, we've seen this before. At least see the 56 of Adam Gardner getting loose down in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Loses it right in front of Brown. What a save from Adam Gardner, able to hold on to that truck and not make contact. Although, unfortunately for Brown, Mike Samia not able to check up quite quick enough. Gets into the back of the 33 and so brings out our most recent caution. We were talking about Gary Clune earlier, and that truck is not very happy right now. We take a look at that left front suspension. You can see, looks like the, as he's coming into the pits right as Adam Gardner leaves, looks like the toe on that truck is knocked out tremendously. He's out there just holding on, trying to do what he can for a good finish here tonight. But that truck will definitely be handling very ill for the rest of the evening. So lights stay on the pace car. We're going to go at least 2 more laps before we go back. Green flag racing here at 5 Flags Speedway. Take you through the running order. Jonathan Jennings currently in first. Kevin Powell going to restart in second. Justin McMahon, Steve Gerber, they'll be in row number 2. Daniel Wilkerson, Bill Gentry back in row 3. Then Mike Leftwich, Jeffrey Engel in row 4. Engel recovering nicely up into the 8th position. And Christopher Simon and Kevin Brown make up your top 10. 11th is Richard Leclerc with Nate Orlowski back in 12th. Ricky Montgomery, Eric Anderson back in row 7. Adam Gardner, Gary Clune, row 8. And rounding out the field in row 9 will be Michael Samia and Gary Armillo. We see more cheers in the chat for the 14 of Jeffrey Engel. As the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Jonathan Jennings hits that restart zone. Green flags back in the air yet again. Another great jump for Jennings as he able to get out in front immediately. Justin McMahon trying to work around Steve Gerber, take over that 3rd position. Now he's going to set his sights on the 93 of Kevin Powell. These yellow flags are allowing our top 3 to stay pretty close to each other, not allowing Jonathan Jennings the breathing room that he needs. He knows that those fresh tires and lack of lap traffic in his way is going to be what's going to allow him to pull away from these drivers behind. Almost some 3-wide racing as Jeffrey Engel spins out now. He's going to reset. No caution. Tough break for Engel, though. Now, looks like he just got a little loose there and tried to get back to the throttle. Was not able to get that truck going back again. And then hits the accelerator to try to get back going and catches the inside wall. So tough night for Jeffrey Engel as we stay green flag racing. Justin McMahon still stocking the 93 of Kevin Powell. Right there on the back bumper. But neither driver really letting Jonathan Jennings get away too far. The interval back from Jennings to Powell is just about a half a second. So overall speeds, even on those 2 tires, Kevin Powell is running very similar times as we saw Orlowski having some issues down on the low side, letting everybody by. I think he got a little loose there off the corner, was able to save it, but let the field go on by. As McMahon's still trying to work on the 93 of Kevin Powell. Every lap he inches just a little bit closer, and off of turn number 4, Kevin Powell gets a little bit better run. So McMahon definitely better in turns 1 and 2. Powell just so much better through turns 3 and 4, and that's been the difference lap after lap. Kevin Brown trying to work around Richard Leclerc, and right behind we see Eric Anderson, our pole sitter, trying to work around the 2 of Ricky Montgomery, and then he's got Gary Armillo right behind as well. So a 3-truck battle right here. This is for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Right behind Adam Gardner, trying to work his way back up through the field. Looks like the damage to that truck has been repaired. At least the back end of that truck looks repaired. The right side still has a little bit of a crinkle to it, but doesn't look like it's slowing him down too much. Now Justin McMahon, right there on the back bumper, looking for a way around that 93 machine to try to challenge Jonathan Jennings for the lead. We're less than 25 laps away from the halfway point. real question is these drivers going to have to pit anytime soon? Believe they might be able to make it to the end here on fuel. Tires, maybe a little bit of a different story, but I believe these drivers should be able to run close to about 100 laps on a tank of fuel. And they were in on lap 27, which tells me even with a couple caution flags, these drivers should be able to make it to the end without issue. This battle is continuing here between Ricky Montgomery, Eric Anderson, and Gary Amio. You see Mike Samia right behind as well, trying to work his way up into this battle. You see Anderson able to get a little bit better of a run into the corner, but Williams able to, Montgomery, Ricky Montgomery, able to get a good launch off the corner. We see cheers for Chris Simon in the chat. Simon's currently running up in the 8th position. Kind of holding his own, not really racing around anybody. He's got Mike Leftwich, another Shoney's driver, not too far out in front. He's trying to run him down. Back towards the battle at the front, Kevin Powell starting to pull away just ever so slightly away from Justin McMahon. Again, Justin McMahon on 4 tires, only 2 tires. Oh, incident down in turn. This is going into turn number 1. And Michael Samia bins it into the inside wall. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. We take a look to see what happened to the 3 machine. Oh, just a little too hard on the accelerator. Coming off of turn number 4, spins those back tires and sends him down into the inside wall. Now, the question is anybody up front going to come down and take tires? I'm trying to give them a little bit of an advantage coming towards the end of this race. You see Christopher Simon down on pit road. Ricky Montgomery on pit road as well. Gary Clune getting some damage fixed. We know he's got a lot of damage. Adam Gardner also on pit road, taking right side tires. And that is going to keep the rest of the field out on the racetrack. Apologize, I had a little interruption there. My daughter was yelling down the stairs. I had to mute the microphone, so I do apologize for that. Though the joys of having a 3-year-old. So, but here we go. The pace car collecting the field here. Lights are still on. Looks like the lights should be coming off on the pace car this time by. We should be getting ready to see 1 to go. We'll see if Jonathan Jennings continues to take the inside lane or if he'll choose the outside lane on this restart. And yes, Jennings chooses the high lane here on this restart, putting Kevin Powell down on the inside. I think he's doing that to try to block the 24 of Justin McMahon to hold off the challenge for the lead. Steve Gerber back in the 4th spot as the field makes their way off of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. And McMahon now diving down to the inside of Powell. And that restart did not work out the way that Jonathan Jennings was hoping. McMahon able to get around Powell. Now he's going to have an opportunity to chase down the 91 of Jonathan Jennings and get his second win of the season. Jennings, as we know, has dominated the season thus far. Jennings with 8 wins in 14 starts. Adam Gardner with 3 wins. Justin McMahon with the lone 1 win. Trying to make that 2. We're just about 10 laps away from the halfway point. A little further back, a little battle back here between Ricky Montgomery and Eric Anderson. This is a battle for the 10th position. Just in front, Christopher Simon trying to work around Mike Leftwich to get up into the 8th spot. He will take that 8th position away. He's going to set his sights on the 117 of Richard Leclerc. Back up front, Jennings, McMahon, Powell. Run 1, 2, 3. Oh, big wreck here on the front stretch. Adam Gardner involved in this one. Mike Leftwich and Ricky Montgomery all caught up in this one. That's going to bring up another record rewind here tonight. We take a look to see what happened on the front stretch. You see Leftwich. Oh, kind of cuts down a little bit on Montgomery. I think it's just the way he was trying to exit the corner, trying to diamond the corner or get that momentum off the corner. Adam Gardner just nowhere to go. Runs into the back of the 2 of Montgomery. And unfortunately, just not a whole lot you can do in that situation. We can actually ride along here with Gardner, and you can see just how fast these things happen. A lot of people don't realize how fast things happen at these short tracks. And here's a great view of just how fast it does happen. Gardner with no time to check up there. So a couple drivers coming down pit road, getting some tires. We see Steve Gerber getting 4 tires and fuel. Richard Leclerc also getting some tires and fuel here. Gary Clune trying to get that truck fixed back up. He is still currently on the lead lap, so somehow able to keep that truck on the lead lap. But man, the red front tires are actually looking a lot better than it did about 30 or 40 laps ago. So looks like that crew is able to work on that front suspension, get that right front tire pointed in the right direction a little bit better. Now, is fuel a concern? I hear Jonathan Jennings shutting the truck off under caution here. Trying to save a little bit of fuel, so what I thought was going to be a pretty good run to the end on fuel, I may be mistaken. It sounds like these drivers may be saving a little bit of fuel. Maybe they're trying to save in case we have a green-white checker. But here we go. Lights on the pace car are off. Jennings taking that high lane for the restart yet again. That's going to put Justin McMahon down on the low side. Kevin Powell and Bill Gentry back in row number 2. Dale Wilkerson up into the 5th spot. Christopher Simon runs back in 6th. As the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. And Jennings again with another great start up on that high side. Oh no! McMahon was able to time that one perfectly. He's going to battle down to the inside of Jonathan Jennings. McMahon's going to take the lead away coming down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Side by side, the battle for the lead continues as McMahon's working that low side, the preferred line. trying to get around Jennings, and he's going to slide into the lead. Jennings tries to fight back on the inside, but so far it is all McMahon up front as he comes across the line. We are halfway through the competition. Now can McMahon hold on to get his second victory of the year, or is Jennings going to figure something out here? Walk back around that 24 machine. A little further back, you see a battle between Richard Leclerc and Kevin Brown. Brown up on the high side. Mike Samia gets a run here, goes by as well. So Brown kind of stuck up on that high lane with nowheres to go. A little further up front, we see Eric Anderson working the high lane. We see Adam Gardner trying to work his way back through the field now. Currently back up into the 7th position on new tires. He's going to dive down underneath Daniel Wilkerson to take over that 6th position. Our leader should be worried because right now Adam Gardner is running times faster than the leaders. Currently up in the 6th position, as our leaders have not been on pit road since lap number 27. So possibly a little bit of strategy coming into play here, as Adam Gardner trying to win his 4th race of the season and trying to get or gain back some of those points that he's lost to Justin McMahon. See Jonathan Jennings trying to get down to the inside of Justin McMahon, but just not able to get the power down on the low side. We see that low lane does not have the grip off of the corner that the groove does. All that rubber building up on the exit of turns 2 and 4. Below that, it's just like driving on ice, as we see Jonathan Jennings right there on the back bumper, but still not close enough to make anything happen. Meanwhile, Adam Gardner has now driven himself up into the 5th position, getting around. That was Bill Gentry, the last driver he got around, but here comes Steve Gerber. Take a look down. He's going to pass the 56 of Gardner. As now we've got a battle back for the lead. Jennings was able to get the drive off the bottom, able to pull alongside, and the caution is out. As we see the 29 of Orlowski down in John Deere country. Let's take a look here to see what happened to the driver of the 29. A little too hard onto the throttle. Loops that 29 machine right around the backstretch. Looks like he's able to keep it off the wall, so no damage to the 29, just damage in pride. You see Steve Gerber, Adam Gardner staying out. Ricky Montgomery and Richard Leclerc also staying out. Everybody else, though, making their way down onto pit road. See Jonathan Jennings getting off first, McMahon second, Kevin Powell, Christopher Simon, Bill Gentry, Daniel Wilkerson. And we see Eric Anderson, Mike Samia, Nate Orlowski, Gary Clune, Mike Leftwich off pit road as the field makes their way back around. So Steve Gerber took 4 tires on the previous stop on lap number 70. Adam Gardner came in on lap number 61, and he took right sides only. So he's on a little bit older tires on the right side and much older tires on the left side. Then Ricky Montgomery was last on pit road on lap 59, and Richard Leclerc was back on lap 70. So Quite a few different pit strategies out there tonight. As you see the field come by, you can see where the last pit stop cycle was. Here we go, lights are off on the pace car. Steve Gerber going to choose the high lane here on the restart, putting Adam Gardner down on the low side. And Ricky Montgomery and Richard Leclerc back in row number 2. Green flag is in the air. Oh! Gardner was not able to get going on that start. He's going to fall all the way back into the 5th position. Looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit on the start. Justin McMahon able to take advantage of that. As one truck goes around, that is the 2 of Ricky Montgomery. Like heavy suspension damage, not able to drive that truck very straight right now. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened. Well, first, let's take a look to see what happened to Adam Gardner on the restart. That would be what I'm first curious about is Adam Gardner's restart here. It's like, yeah, the 56 just spun the tires. Now a little further back, we saw the 2 go for a spin. Oh! Jonathan Jennings went around as well. I did not realize that Jennings was involved in that. I think Jennings might have been the start of this incident. See Jennings down on the low side, and yeah, just like we've seen all night tonight, that back end starts to come around, and then see the wheels turn to the right, trying to catch it, and it drives straight up into the side of the 2. What a weird incident here. Let's ride along here with Adam Gardner on this restart. Let's listen here if he spun the tires here on the start. Oh, that is just tire spin for the 56. Such a helpless feeling. In the chat, Charles Ballin says, "Sup, Josh?" Charles, good to see you. Joining us here before we get ready for the SCSRA race at Homestead Miami Speedway. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're getting ready to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them once again here at Flags Speedway. Pace car taking the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Again, we see another driver spin the tires on the restart. That is Richard Leclerc down on the low side, spinning the tires on the restart. And fortunately for him, he's able to get going a little bit better than Adam Gardner did, and falling back into the 3rd position. See Justin McMahon in the 24 trying to find a way around the 8 of Steve Gerber as we are quickly approaching 25 laps to go. Christopher Simon down to the inside of Richard Leclerc. Simon trying to take over the 4th position. He will indeed clear the 117 here off of turn number 4. As Justin McMahon has now made his way around Steve Gerber and taken over the lead here tonight at 5 Flags Speedway, as the caution is out on the racetrack and Nate Orlowski in that 29 machine has looped around on the front stretch. That'll bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 29 machine here. It's that pesky turn number 4. And tries to gas it up to get back going, and down in that low lane, there's just no grip down there. Justin McMahon is going to take over the lead. Steve Gerber in second. Kevin Powell, Christopher Simon back in row number 2. Richard Leclerc, Bill Gentry, row 3. Michael Samia, Daniel Wilkerson, row 4. And Eric Anderson and Jonathan Jennings up into the 10th position after spinning a few laps ago. We're just going to have a handful of laps left here tonight. As you can see, we are working our 9th caution of the evening with just 23 laps to go. So Justin McMahon last on pit row on lap 86. Steve Gerber lap 70. Kevin Powell also on 86. Everybody out there on 4 fresh tires except for Adam Garner back in 12th. As the lights on the pace car are off. And Justin McMahon gets ready to lead the field back down to the restart zone, where we will have just 20 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for our leader. Steve Gerber not fooled, able to stay right alongside as Christopher Simon now pulls up into that 4th position again. Trying to run down the 93 Kevin Powell to get himself up onto the podium. A little further back, a big battle back here. We see the entire field kind of bunching up behind our leaders who are kind of in a 4-car breakaway. And the 29 is looped around yet again. He's going to get that truck rolling, and we will not bring out the caution. As McMahon makes his way down into turns 3 and 4. A little further back, we see Samia trying to run down Bill Gentry and Richard Leclerc. Great battles all over the racetrack as we take a look from the iRacing blimp. Jonathan Jennings trying to work around the 45 Eric Anderson. That's a battle for the 8th position. And then right behind we see Daniel Wilkerson, Mike Leftwich, Adam Gardner, Gary Clune all battling back here. Clune able to get that truck fixed up well enough to be back in the race. Meanwhile, Justin McMahon continues to lead, and he's starting to pull away a little bit from second place Kevin Powell. See Christopher Simon now running down Steve Gerber. Last time by, these trucks ran pretty much identical times as Simon trying to work his way up into the podium right in front. We see the lap truck of Orlowski. Simon gets the run down into turn number 3. He's going to take that position down on the inside of Steve Gerber. Gerber able to fire off back on the high side and hold off that position for now. Simon back down to the inside. They're door to door through turns 3 and 4 for the third position off of turn number 4. Simon's going to have it as they go down into turn number 1. Now is Steve Gerber going to try to cross him over here off of turn number 2? No, he's not going to be able to. So Christopher Simon solidly up into the third position, that final podium position, with just 10 laps to go. Adam Gardner, Daniel Wilkerson side by side. This is a battle for the 11th position. Gardner just able to nose out in front of Daniel Wilkerson. He's going to take that position away, so move Adam Gardner up into 11th. How about Jonathan Jennings still back in 7th, not driving through the field as quickly as I thought he was going to, as the 2 of Ricky Montgomery is stuffed it in the wall down in turn number 1. But he's able to get it back rolling, so no caution. So it's 6.5 laps to go. Jess McMahon's holding off Kevin Powell for now, but Powell, last time by, they ran identical lap times. This time by, again, pretty much identical lap times. If we take a look here at the lap history, and you'll see pretty much identical times lap after lap. Time Kevin Powell just a little bit slower than McMahon as we are coming to 4 laps to go. McMahon ran a little bit higher lane through the corners, trying to keep his momentum up just a little bit, not hugging the white line like we're seeing Kevin Powell do. See Powell trying to get right down to that white line through turns 1 and 2. You see McMahon running about a half a lane up, trying to find the grip where it is. And off of turn number 4, we have just 2 laps to go. Can McMahon hold on for just under 1 more mile through turns 3 and 4? Coming to the white flag, Justin McMahon will have 1 lap to go here at Flags Speedway. Off of turn number 2, down into turns 3 and 4, Kevin Powell trying to give it 1 more launch here, but off of turn number 4, Justin McMahon will get the win here at Flags Speedway. Kevin Powell is going to bring it home in 2nd. And Christopher Simon brings the truck home in 3rd as we see Justin McMahon immediately celebrating here on the front stretch. Getting his 2nd win of the season, taking advantage of Adam Gardner's tough luck here tonight. as that battle for that runner-up position continues. While McMahon captures the flag here, let's take a look at our final results. Again, Justin McMahon getting the win here tonight. Kevin Powell in second. Christopher Simon back in third. Jonathan Jennings rebounds for a fourth place finish, with Steve Gerber falling back to fifth. Bill Gentry finishes in sixth, with Eric Anderson in seventh. Michael Smia in eighth. Mike Leftwich and Adam Gardner round out your top 10. Richard Leclerc, he's going to finish 11th, with Gary Clune back in 12th. Daniel Wilkerson in the 13th position. Kevin Brown and Nate Orlowski, your top 15. Ricky Montgomery finishes in 16th. Gary Armillo back in 17th. Jeffrey Engel will round out the field in 18th tonight. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 here tonight, starting with our third place finisher, Christopher Simon. Christopher, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yep, gotcha.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Kind of worked your way through the field a couple times, it looked like, but able to get around Steve Gerber there at the end to put yourself up into the final podium position. Talk about your race there and how your strategy changed as all the cautions came out here tonight.
Yeah, for the most part, I was just riding it out. Like, I wasn't trying to push hard in the early laps, and I'll just see how it goes. And I kind of expected a lot of cautions for this race because it's a short track and all. So I was biding my time the whole time, and I had a good pit strategy there, but I think one of the cautions kind of ruined that for me. So the leaders had fresher tires, so I had to pit with them.
Yeah, we saw turn 3 really being a troublesome spot for a lot of drivers here tonight. I don't know if it was just a bump or what it was. Can you talk about what the track was doing there, where it was getting everybody so loose there, going through turns 3 and 4?
To be honest, I think they might be pushing a little bit too hard through those turns. Like, it's more about having easier control on the throttle and not spinning out. Because I would assume that if you press harder on the accelerator, I think you're likely to spin out there. So I think that's what most people were making mistakes on.
Yeah, we saw quite a few drivers here have that issue here tonight. We see in the chat here, you have your support there.
Yeah.
And before we let you go here, obviously they say love you, proud of you, great job tonight. And anyone you want to thank here tonight before we let you go?
I would like to thank Shoney's for sponsoring the league. I would like to thank my team at Shoney's Racing because they're really good teammates out there. Fortunately, they didn't have the best race out there, but I think we'll get them next race in next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now, because we're having a break. I'd like to thank Daniel, Kevin Powell, and all the admins for this league because it's a really fun league when it's not like cautions and all. It's really clean. And I would like to thank my I want to shout out my parents and my family watching this race. I think, yep, like you said, they're supporting me out there.
Of course. I mean, it's great. I always love to see the support from the family, no matter what. So it brings a smile to my face seeing how much of a family iRacing really brings together. So again, congratulations. I think this is your first podium of the season too, isn't it?
I believe so.
Well, how do you like your chances next week in 2 weeks at Daytona?
I'm not really the best at super speedways, but I'll try to do like I did this race and biding my time and just making a good pit stops and just attacking when it's ready or the right time.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
So that was your winner, third place finisher. Sorry about that. Third place finisher here tonight, Christopher Simon. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Kevin Powell. Kevin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Josh, how you doing?
Man, great. Feeling great up here. Long race for you guys out there tonight. A lot of cautions, but coming home in second. Great showing for you and your teammate there, who had some issues there towards the end. Talk about the race there, especially racing with McMahon there for the for second. Well, was second place at the time, and the battle that you guys had for a big portion of the race here tonight.
Yeah, me and him were pretty much even. I beat him I just tried to save my tires enough and secure that second position, and I finally got it. And then we started having cautions, and there at the end, every caution we had, I ended up getting restarting on the insides. So that did a lot of damage to my tires, I believe, because the truck wasn't sticking in the corners how it was. And I just didn't have that extra little tire to run him down to give a good finish. But Justin drove a great race. He did everything he had to do to get the win, and I congratulate him for it.
Yeah, that low lane, especially on restart, seemed to be a real tricky spot. We see quite a few drivers spin their tires on the restarts. Was it really just that lack of grip on the low side trying to get restarted here tonight?
Yes, sir. On the restart, if you didn't have fresh tires, you could not uh get to the throttle as you could if you were in the high lane. So I dealt with that. I found out the harder way. I chased my truck all the way to the wall before I caught it. So, um, it's short track racing. That's what you deal with sometimes, but it's all fun.
Well, again, great job here tonight with the runner-up finish. And before we let you go, Kevin, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out you guys for the broadcast. All our sponsors, all the admins, and the whole Doghouse community. I think we're one of the best communities in iRacing. Give a shout out to my teammates, especially Jonathan. He led most of the whole race. I think he could have won it had it not been for that little slip up on the fresh tires. But he did amazing to come back and get fourth place.
Yeah, for sure. Driving his way back up, showing going back-to-back championships here in the Doghouse Racing League, and just an awesome performance for you and him here tonight. But don't want to take the celebration away from you with the runner-up position. So congratulations on that. I know in 2 weeks we move over to Daytona. How do you like your chances at the Super Speedway in the finale?
Daytona, man, it's just like luck of the draw, really. If you can survive, you got a chance coming to the checker flag, but you just got to survive it.
Well, again, congrats here tonight, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. You have a good one, Josh.
You as well. So that was your second place finisher, Kevin Powell. Let's bring in the man of the hour, the driver of the 24, Justin McMahon. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal you mid-sentence right there, but
You're fine.
great run for you here tonight. A bit of a strategy, a bit of a caution fest, but finding yourself on the long end of the straw on this one here tonight, getting your second win of the season. Talk us through the race, especially all the hard racing that you were doing there with Kevin and Jonathan there, and what was the strategy like trying to get yourself into the position that you got yourself into?
Just trying to stay near the front because we knew this track was going to be had a potential to breed a lot of cautions. Track was really loose on corner exit, and in the first few laps it was really loose on corner entry as well. So I knew that there might be some cautions. I didn't really want to put us in a position to be back in traffic to where it might cause us, cause us a rough night. So I figured, if we could just stay up front, that would probably help us a lot. Luckily, one of those last cautions there that we came down pit road actually benefited us a little bit, put us on a little bit fresher tires than the guys that stayed out, that took their last set a few cautions before that. So clean air and being up front with the least amount of vehicles as possible was going to be the way to go. And luckily, it got lucky. It worked out for us.
Yeah, you talked about how loose the truck was on fresh tires. We actually saw our champion, Jonathan Jennings, get loose on those fresh tires. So
yeah,
it really plays a testament how it can catch anybody off guard. And the track seemed, even though it seemed loose, it seemed really racy as well. So It was
Yeah.
really entertaining to watch, and awesome job here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was the second groove. You could kind of hold your own on the second groove for a little while. In the end, the bottom line would, I think, prevail, but unless you pinch the guy down there for long enough, it would hurt his tires a little bit there, which I think that's might have what happened to Kevin there. I think he got stuck on the bottom there for too long. He couldn't arc it in like the guys up front were doing. But other than that, yeah, it was a great race, a lot of fun. It's always fun racing Kevin and Jonathan and Adam and Steve and all those guys up there. So it was a lot of fun. This one just kind of happened to fall our way, and I'll take it going into the end of the season. Hopefully, I can at least get a top 3 points standing finish here at the end of the season. So look forward to it.
Yeah, Adam Gardner had a bit of a rough night tonight, so you get a little bit of ground on him here tonight. And one more thing, talking about that inside lane, it seemed like it was almost impossible to get the power down on the restarts on the inside. Did that kind of hamper you as well? Were you kind of hoping to get stuck on the outside for the restarts?
Yeah, actually, I was kind of looking forward to that. It didn't really help early on, but it ended up working out in the end there. Be able to start on the outside. The bottom, you just, like you said, you couldn't really get back to the throttle as quickly as you wanted to, because you would either get loose coming off the corner exit, or you get pinched down from the guy on the outside pinching you. So you really weren't able to get a good run off the corner exit. Guys were just able to diamond it off of the corner exit from being up top and just get the run coming off the hill, which benefited them. I mean, if you could hold your own and get clear of them on the first couple laps, that was great. But if you couldn't do it the first few laps, you were just going to overheat your tires and lose ground there. So, yeah, it was definitely beneficial to start on the outside.
Well, again, great job here tonight, getting the win here tonight. Before we let you go, I know you got some shouts you got to give, but before you do that, I see Nate said congratulations, Justin, in the chat. So before you get your shout outs out, I got to throw that in there for you.
Yeah,
So.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, thanks to Nate at Group 6 Interactive for the sponsor on the truck, and everybody watching. And I think his girlfriend Abby actually might have been tuning in tonight too. My brother usually watches. My brother Nick and Daniel for putting on the league and letting me in Loud Pedal Racing, and you guys doing the broadcast. And congrats on the championship win to Jonathan. He's pretty much got it wrapped up, so just want to give him a good big congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, I think just starting here tonight pretty much wrapped up the championship for him. So
yeah.
But man, again, congrats on the win, getting your second win of the season, and good luck in 2 weeks at Daytona. How do you like your chances at the big track? I know some people love the super speedways and some people detest them.
Yeah, it's 50-50. I mean, I'd like to say I like my chances to win there, but if we put ourselves in a position up near the front to survive until the end, I think we have a chance. But up until that point, it's really just a roll of the dice, just because it is Daytona, so anything can happen, really.
Yeah, I think it's kind of awesome having the championship race there, or the final race there, because it's kind of like you said, a crapshoot. So
yeah,
if anything can happen. It's going to be a great one to watch. Well, again, Justin, congrats
great
on the win here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your winner, Justin McMahon. Again, his second win of the season here tonight at Five Flags Speedway. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or over on Kick. We do appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe so you can find all the great racing here on Intensity Broadcasting. That's going to do it for me here tonight with the Doghouse Racing League. Join me back here in about a half an hour as the SCSRA takes on Homestead Miami, just down the road in Miami, Florida, here from Pensacola, as we start our second race of our truck doubleheader. Of course, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would always say, thanks for watching, and over and out.